In this step-by-step tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how you can start your very own Gumroad store so that you can start selling your digital products, memberships, subscriptions, online courses, tutorials, and much more. So by the end of this tutorial, you'll have your very own store ready to collect orders. I'm not only going to show you how to set up your store, but I'm going to show you how you can feature your product through the Gumroad Discover marketplace, as well as some other advanced features like email marketing, the community feature, and much more. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, why Gumroad instead of other popular platforms? Well, it's low barrier of entry. There's no monthly fees. You can get started and you only get charged when you actually make a sale. There's no technical skills required, no designing required. The storefront is ready for you as soon as you put your product up there. So you can pretty much start selling by the end of today. In addition, they also handle all the sales and fulfillment for you, of course. So auto delivery of your digital products, your online courses. It's got all those built-in membership community features as well that you're probably wanting to use sometime now or sometime in the future. In addition, they also handle the taxes and payouts for you, so you don't need to worry about any of that. All right, so first things first, if you don't have a Gumroad account, simply use a link in the description box below. That'll take you to Gumroad. And once you're here, we are going to create an account. So what we can start doing is click on Start Selling on the homepage. Now you can use your Google X account or just create using your email address. All right, after you've signed up, you should land on the dashboard where you can see some getting started steps, so some onboarding steps and some other steps after you've completed a couple of these. But on the left, you'll also see some of the options and the tools that are built into Gumroad. You can, first of all, customize your profile, which we'll do in the next step. You've got your products all listed, collaborators and partners, quite a new feature there. Your checkout, emails like email marketing, being able to send your newsletters and follow-ups, workflows for automations, check out your sales, analytics and metrics, handle all your and manage all your affiliates, your payouts so you can see when your next payout is scheduled, and also the Discover/marketplace, which is a Gumroad equivalent of kind of like an eBay marketplace. Then you've got a library of your products that you've purchased in the past on Gumroad, and perhaps some saved products that you saw in the past who are selling on Gumroad. But before we get started with any of these features, let's go ahead and customize our profile. So we'll click on Profile, and then you'll see right here your name, then write a bio, because this bio is kind of like if you were on Instagram, you want to stand out, make an impression. So write your bio there. So for example, I've got here as a short bio, I help solopreneurs and creators sell digital products online. Of course, you should rather expand this because you're given more characters anyway. Next, upload a photo of yourself if it's a personal brand you're selling. Next, upload your profile picture, which makes it more personal, especially if you are building a personal brand. However, if you are a brand or business, put in your logo right there. Add in some social links. And then you've got pages. We won't play around with this yet since we haven't added any products, so we'll get back to this later on once we customize our profile. At this stage, let's hit update profile, and you can very well preview it if you'd like. So far it's got nothing, so you can see that I've put in my bio there, and then I've got my newsletter featured there. We'll talk more about newsletters later on. Next up, before we add a product, we need to go to our settings. So where your profile is at the bottom, we click on settings. Where it says user details, you've got your username. And this is important because this will be your profile, your Gumroad link. At the moment, it's Realistigen 28. I would go for something more, of course, unique, something more on brand. Because I've already got a Gumroad account, I used Realistigen.gumroad.com already. So make sure you find something more unique and something that is easy to remember. In a way, just to keep things simple, I'll just put in Aurelius Digital. Let's see if that's available anyway. And now we've got notifications. Do you want to be notified of any purchases that people make, recurring payments that you receive, free downloads, personalized product announcements, comments, reviews? You can customize it all here. Next is support. Who should your customers contact if they need any customer support? This is where you specify the email address. There's also the ability to add a product-specific email so that it goes to the right department. Next, you've got your local time zone. This helps so that everything is in sync and all the analytics shows accordingly. And of course, you've got your currency, what currency currency you are selling in. Some other options here, we've got adult content and affiliates, prevent others from adding me as an affiliate, so you can enable that. But if you are thinking of opening up an affiliate program so others can promote your products in the future, then I would disable this. Now go back to the top and just click on update settings. And then if you come across this where it says username has already been taken, no problem, just try to find a different one. I'm going with digital with Aurelius, click on update settings. All right, so account has been updated. Next step, we're going to skip the team part. We're going to go to payments, and this is required if you want to start receiving payments through Gumroad. Country, choose your country and ensure all of these have also been checked off, and then hit save. Then you've got your payout schedule. You've got weekly, monthly, quarterly, and the minimum threshold. So at the moment, the minimum threshold for Australia at least is $100. I think it's the same for the US anyway, but choose your country and then that'll show the minimum. Then you've got payout method. You've got direct to your bank account where you can enter all of your details right here, or you can accept payments via PayPal. So more details you need to ensure you fill out include billing. While we talk about payments, let's talk about Gumroad's fees. Gumroad charges a flat 10% fee per transaction plus an additional 50 cents. This is actually elaborated on the payments page, and then you'll see here direct sales 10% plus 50% Gumroad fee plus 2.9% plus 30 cents credit card fee. Just depends, if they're using credit card, PayPal, they charge their own fees, but that's something to keep in mind, right? And that can compound over time. However, if you look at the positives of Gumroad, there's no monthly fees. The 30% has to do with Gumroad's Discover or marketplace. So if your product is sold through the Gumroad Discover, which is what I'll show you right here. So if they look through Gumroad Discover, for instance, and they like, let's choose one of these products, I'm not sure, just a random one, and they choose this product, but they found you initially through the Gumroad Discover, Gumroad will charge you 30%, so you only keep 70% minus any other fees. So that's that, and it'll all show under payout method anyway, if you want to get some clarification on it. And for now, we'll just skip the other sections of these settings since we just want to put in what's mandatory and what we require so that we can start putting out products, start getting paid, things like that. All the other things, a bit more advanced. But once you've filled out all your details, click Update Settings. Moving on, let's add our product. We're going to head to products, and this is where we can click on new product, and we're given a few options in terms of what product we are adding. Are we going to be selling a digital product, a course or tutorial, an ebook, membership, bundle? Depending on what product you are adding, that'll show the appropriate fields for that type of product. Let's say, for instance, we are selling a PDF guide, like Guide to Gumroad. And in this guide, I show people how to use Gumroad to start selling their products. In this case, it is a digital product, but you can select whatever is most appropriate to what you're selling. There is an ebook option where it allows and supports EPUB and MOBI formats, but I'll keep it simple and just make it a generic, general digital product. Down below, we've got a field to sell in whatever currency you'd like. I'm going to be selling in US dollars. Let's say 10 US dollars for this. And then next, we are going to customize the product. At the top, you've got the product tab where you've got the necessary fields to show what the product is about. Essentially, this is kind of like your landing page, your sales page, and you want to be as convincing as possible. And this is where your copy goes, your sales copy. Write your copy. We can format this. So if this is a heading, we can use the H1 or title tags. On the right, you will see a real-time preview of what it will look like. So at this point, write your copy. And this is just a hypothetical example, of course. And we've got some copy there. Quite short. You probably want to elaborate more on what they're going to get, benefit-driven rather than features. You're also given some options to add media, such as images, perhaps a video demo, add some audio, being able to also format your text. Let's say you want to make this bold, click on bold. We can also insert things like buttons, an X post, divider, add an upsell, but because we haven't added any other products, we can't add an upsell. You've also got the ability to add reviews of customers who have purchased this. You can also link to an external website, web page. But once you're done with your copy, look down below and you'll see the URL. So this is why it's important to have a Gumroad URL that makes sense for you. We've got digital with a L and / whatever you want. So in this case, my product is called Guide to Gumroad. I will just put in Guide to Gumroad, and that makes a lot of sense. Next is your cover, and this is important if you want to show them what this product looks like, perhaps a mock-up or a book cover or a cover of your actual guide. This is where you want to upload it. It does give you some guidelines in terms of the dimensions, so it needs to be at least 1280 by 720, so it's better quality. And then you've got the option to add a thumbnail for it, which is also important because it will appear in the Gumroad library, Discover, and profile pages. This thumbnail does need to be a square, so minimum 600 by 600 pixels. In terms of the cover and the thumbnail, you can generate it using AI, ChatGPT, Claude, or you can very well use Canva to design these. Let's go ahead and add a cover image, which will be at the top of our listing. So we'll click on Upload Image. You're given an option to upload from your computer or an external link, but I'm just going to upload it from my computer. Here we've got my files. I'll just choose the cover image at the top. And as you can see, it has inserted my image, which is the guide cover or the mock-up. And we're also going to upload a thumbnail. Click on Upload and then choosing the second one. And that is the square version. Next is product info, where you've got the option to choose a call to action. So this will be like the buy now button, essentially. You want it to say, I want this, buy this, or pay. But let's keep it simple. I want this. Then a summary of your product. This could be a one-liner, one sentence of what they're going to get. I've got something simple, like you'll get instant access to Guide to Gumroad. You can expand this by saying, and you're fully guaranteed by my 30-day money-back guarantee. However, you also are given the option to add additional details. So you can say access to the 50-page guide, and then put in a dollar value. This could be, $49. And you can see it's very small, but if you take a look there, I'll just kind of zoom in for you. You've got access to the 50-page guide, $49. You can even add even more. Bonus one, this could be a cheat sheet. And then you've got bonus number 2, which could be a resource sheet. Bonus 3 could be mind map of it. And you can see that the value adds up right there. That could be one use of it, okay? Or you can put in a dollar value. So we can say bonus number 1 is the cheat sheet. And then this could be an extra $10 value. And then we can swap that around. And then we've got our resource sheet, another $10. And then a mind map of it could be another $10. All right. So now you've got the value instead of what the bonus is. So use it the way that you want. You're given that flexibility. Next is integrations. Do you want to allow your customers to be invited to the Gumroad community? And this is product specific. So if you do enable this, any customers that have purchased your product get access to the community chat. The community chat looks like this, which we'll go on to. So you can see it kind of looks like Slack, where they can talk about your product, ask any questions, connect with other buyers as well, perhaps. So if that interests you and you want to enable that feature, then go ahead and enable that. Otherwise, if you do want to use like an external community service like Circle, then you can enable that and then you put in your API token right there. There's also an option to invite them to a Discord server. So if you do have a Discord channel, then feel free to provide that. Down the bottom, you've got your pricing once again. However, you're given more options where you allow customers to pay what they want. So this gives them the flexibility depending on their budget. Let's say you're not too worried about having a fixed price on your product. Let's say your minimum is $2. So we'll need to change the pricing right there. Minimum is $2 and suggested, which it'll show, is 10. Okay, so that it shows that yes, $2 is minimum, but $10 is appreciated in a way. So you can see where it'll be. So name a fair price. We've got $10+, but hasn't updated yet. But for the sake of this tutorial, let's just disable that and just put a fixed price of $10. There's also the ability to allow customers to pay in installments, making it easier and more affordable, perhaps. And if you have some sort of special seasonal discount, or it could be a special event, special time of the year, you can automatically apply the discount right there, and that will add it without them having to add that code. So you can say summer is the code to use for the summer special, but that is discounts for you. Then you've got variations. This is a great way to perhaps upsell your product. So we've got one version where you've got just a standard package where you only get the guide or the course, whatever you're selling. And then you've got another version including all the extra resources perhaps. But the step-by-step help page also gives you more details of what it does, what you can do, different versions. So in this example, we've got a basic 10 brush set. We've got the basic with 10 brushes, and then you've got the add-ons as well. So it's a great way to boost your sales without having to add any extra work. And lastly, on this page, you've got limit product sales. So if you want to limit it to the first 100 customers, you can do that as well. Allow customers to choose a quantity, so the amount. They can choose 2 copies, 3 copies, whatever they choose. But because we are selling a digital product, doesn't quite make sense in this instance. Publicly show the number of sales. You can, if you want, provides maybe social proof if you do have lots of sales. Maybe later down the track, mark product as e-publication for VAT purposes, but if it's something you're required to do, you can enable it right there. Also an option to specify a refund policy, specific one, if you'd like to do so. So you've got 30-day, or you can choose one of the other ones, or no refunds allowed, but I'll just put in 30-day money back guarantee. You can also add a fine print or more details to elaborate your refund policy. Does this require shipping? If it's a physical product that you're shipping out, then check that. There's also the ability to add a custom domain name, making it a little more suitable if you do want to use a branded domain rather than just using Gumroad's specific URL that you've created here. But on this page, you're pretty much done. Now, the next step is to hit save and continue. You can, of course, preview it. Let's give it a shot. Here's what it looks like. You've got your cover image right there. You've got your sales copy, and everything on the right is what we added as additional fields because it's not for sale yet and it's just a preview. There's no button to order it. Let's go back. Next is the content. This is the fulfillment page. After someone purchases your product, what happens next, right? This is where you add your content. You can start typing away. Thanks for purchasing. You can make a simple thank you page like that, or you can simply just upload your files. So at this time, you need to make sure you have your product formatted and ready for fulfillment. Okay. And I've got my PDF right here. It's just a hypothetical example. Once again, guide to Gumroad. I just used AI to generate this PDF for me. But at this point, I'm going to click on upload file, and then we are going to go computer files, or you can use one of the other options. I've got my PDF right there. Open it up. And now we've got the PDF attached, and users simply click on download to download the PDF. There's also an option to add a bit of a description. Let's say main ebook or main guide. If you have a specific ISBN number, you can do so. You can also stamp this PDF with the buyer information. That kind of prevents it from being distributed elsewhere. And it also verifies that this owner or this customer purchased it directly from you. But this content page can be fully customized in a way where you can write the message that you want, give them steps, perhaps link a different product of yours, or link your socials, a link to your homepage, wherever you want to happen can all be put in right here. On the left, your customers get the option to write a review about your product and the experience with it. If they've also got the ability to see and download their receipt and a library of all of their product purchases. There's also an option, if you look under insert, to do other things like add buttons, a divider, input, and some other things. Let's say you're selling software, you've got a license key to show and the ability to add an upsell. So once you've added multiple products or another product at least, then it'll show right here where you can feature that product and then boost sales once again. But if you choose an upsell, then you're also given the option to add a discount to the offered product because you already purchased this initial and primary product. But that is the fulfillment page, or this, they call it the content page. Receipt, you can customize the receipt showing the button. This is what customers see, something like this with the order ID, order date, and they can view the content. content, you're given the option to write a custom message as well. But once that's done, you're pretty much done adding a new product. We now can publish and continue. All right, so it has been published, and the next step is to share it with the world. So we've got the ability to click once, and then we can share it on X, Facebook, or copy the URL that goes directly to the Guide to Gumroad landing page. But we can preview it as well, just to see what it's actually going to look like, what people see. Once again, header, copy, and we can now see the order button. You can see what we're going to get. Click on I want this, and this is what the checkout page looks like. Pretty cool. And we also have the ability to add a tip, or more so the customers. While we're on this page, if you scroll down, you're also given the ability to feature your product through Gumroad Discover, the marketplace once again. If you do want to get this featured, your product that is, through the Discover marketplace, do note that there is a flat 30% fee on each sale if it gets sold through the marketplace. And it's quite a hefty amount. However, if you look at it from that perspective, you may be getting more sales that way rather than you having to go out and finding more customers. It's not a be-all, end-all, of course. And if you don't mind the 30% cut, then simply enable this. And if you do make a sale, that's great. If you don't, it's not like you lose out on anything anyway. But what you're going to want to do is select a category that most relates to your product. And then you're given quite a lot of categories to choose from. Can be overwhelming. You can see when I'm scrolling, it's just going and going. So rather than doing that, you can filter it by something like business, and then you've got business and money, business and branding, money, and we can then narrow in on what we want. So we've got marketing and sales. I think it makes more sense there since we're talking about Gumroad. Next tags, we can say something like Gumroad, how to use Gumroad. And this will help in the search results if someone searches it through the Discover. And while we're talking about Gumroad Discover, if you head to gumroad.com/discover, you'll see what the marketplace actually looks like. So this will give you a better idea on, the details to add and perhaps the category that you want to end up sitting in. In addition, you can see what products are listed in those categories and subcategories. So if we go to cooking, for instance, we've got nutrition, and then you can see all the nutrition related products. Bear in mind that with Gumroad Discover, there's some eligibility to meet some criteria. So if you go to the help page where you can see Gumroad Discover, you will see what you need to meet. So your payout settings must be filled out, reach a balance of at least $100, be verified by our risk team, more details there, and made at least one successful sale. And what they're implying is that you shouldn't be purchasing through your own product page. That doesn't count, to meet that eligibility. But that's that. And we can save changes at this point. But if you go back to products, you will see your product listed there where you can then continue on and manage any products you've already added. It also then shows you the number of sales, revenue, price, whether it's published or not. Let's move on to some other options in Gumroad. I'm going to skip Collaborators for now. That's a little more advanced, but let's go to checkout because this is our way of adding things like discount codes and customizing the checkout form. But with discount codes, we can create new discount codes by clicking on that. Then we can name the discount. Let's say, yes, Black Friday sale, and then add in our discount code, Black Friday, and this applies to this product, or you can select all products. Let's say they are given 20% off for that period. And then we can limit the quantity or validity, let's say running from this date to whatever date. This gives you the ability to limit that to a certain period. Let's say you're doing a 5-day sale, a 7-day sale. That's really useful. And then you've got other options right there. But those are discounts for you, really handy, and you're definitely going to use that during special occasions, special times. Then you've got checkout form where you can add custom fields. Let's say you want to gather extra details of your customer. You can go there, type of field, choose from text, checkbox, terms. At the moment, this is what customers see. You've got only a few details, but I would steer away from asking too many details as this can be a turnoff. They might feel like, yes, this is quite a long process just to check out. So I would not bother asking too many questions. If you do want to ask more questions, perhaps a little marketing questionnaire, ask that later on. There's also the ability to add your discount field, the code, if you have that discount available for that specific product. So you can see when I enable, disable, it adds the discount code field. If you don't want this to appear, then put never, and then that way your customers aren't going to ask you or look around the web for a discount coupon for this specific product. So choose it appropriately. Now, this next one shows recommendations during checkout. You can get it to don't recommend any products, or you can get it to recommend my products. So you've got other products like this. Customers who bought this item also bought whatever product, kind of like Amazon, if you've ever checked out or shopped on Amazon. There's also the ability to recommend your products and products I'm an affiliate of, something I would not personally do because I just want them to focus on the product that they're purchasing and my products too. So I would just recommend my products. There's also the ability to add tipping. If you don't want that, just disable it, which I will personally do. And that's that. We'll click on Save Changes. Next, upsells. All right. Upsells is the ability to add an upsell at checkout rather than the other times, let's say when your customer has already checked out and on the fulfillment or content page. So if you do want to add that, add a new upsell, name your upsell, and then you can go into even more details like only applying this to specific products. So it won't show on all of your products, but that specific product only. To give you an idea of where it will land, we can see here the product, and then we can say this is the upgrade and then the dollar amount that it shows. It's all built in, which is great. Again, boosting sales if you do have an upsell. So think about your product. Think about what upsell you could make or a companion, right? That would really make sense, complement that product. And that way it's easy to upsell your product, that initial product. I personally would think about an upsell and creating an upsell for your primary product. Otherwise, once your customer purchases that main product, that is the only sale you make. Let's say you're selling that guide for $10. That is all you make. Whereby if you do have an upsell of an additional $20 or an additional $5, $10 for some extra resources, then that boosts sales, right? That can boost sales 50%, 100%, 200%, whatever the price you are pricing your products or that upsell at. So that's the checkout. Really useful, something you probably want to play around with more. Next part is emails. And in my opinion, this is one of the most undervalued tools, marketing channels there is, because most people do rely heavily on just social media content, publishing there, sending out any alerts, any announcements, any special offers through social media, whereby if you have your own email list, you can send out those announcements, those special offers right when you want, and you don't have to rely on the algorithm, because as soon as you send, let's say, a newsletter for a special offer, all of your customers who are on your database receive that, okay? And the way it works in Gumroad, at least, is you can send out one-off emails, like create a new email, and then you're given the option to narrow in on who receives it, everyone, or just specific people who purchase a specific product. And then you write your email subject line, you've got your body text, add in attachments, and then you publish it right now, or you can schedule it for a certain time. But if you go back to emails, this is where scheduled emails will sit anyway. You can see all of your subscribers right here. We can manage all of your followers in one place. Now, where people subscribe is if you click on Share Subscribe page, I've copied that. And then it simply takes them to the subscribe page where it says subscribe to receive email update from Aurelius Tigran, and then they can enter their email right there to stay informed. But once they're on your database, that's when you can go ahead and send out emails to your customers. Next, you've got workflows, which helps with automating those emails for you. So you can allow for scheduled emails to a subset of your audience. So if you click on new workflow, this will take you to this page right here where you name the workflow. For instance, if you want to provide some sort of special offer to welcome new customers, you can go welcome special offer, and then you can trigger it based on a new subscriber or a new customer who purchased a specific product. So who has bought this product or who has not bought this product. So you can then refine it more, paid more than a specific amount. And then you can also specify purchase after a date or before a date, and even specify from which country. And then when you save and continue, you can begin creating your workflow. And then we can create a new email where on day 0, so it could mean hours after a purchase, this specific email gets sent out where it says, thank you very much for purchasing my product. It means a lot to me. Add anything else you want. Let's say a special discount for another product of yours. You can set it right there. So I'll just put that in and then add the email. So I've got my first email there. Let's say you have another email that you want to send out in the workflow, but this time maybe 3 days later, then you can do so there. And then this could be a tip, all right, a tip on how to use your product, how to get the most out of it, whatever you want. So this is the purpose of having workflows where it's all automated for you. After someone subscribes to your newsletter, or you can have them purchase a product, they get into this workflow by those triggers that you set initially in details. Once you publish it, it will run on autopilot. So if you do have any workflows in mind before you launch and publish your product, I would do so before you actually hit that publish button and attracting customers. All right, next up, we've got sales. This is where you can manage all of your sales. As soon as you get a sale, it will land on this page where you can manage it. You'll see their other details like their email address, their name, everything else that they've added into the checkout form. You'll also be able to filter certain customers so that you're narrowing in on only those customers that you want to work on. And then you've got other details like who used different discounts. And this may also be useful where you're able to export all the sales into CSV, helping you in terms of accounting. Analytics is where you can actually see the metrics, the number of sales, views, total sales over time during a certain period. And then you can even narrow in on the specific product. You got following analytics and you've got churn, depending whether you have a membership subscription model or not. Let's move on to a couple of more advanced features like affiliates. So if you do want to open up your affiliate program to the world and have them promote your product, you can do so by going to affiliates. Then you've got an affiliate sign-up form where they can simply go here, but you must enable and set up the commission for at least one product, which is down below here. So enable specific products. I'm going to enable the affiliate program for Guide to Gumroad, and let's say 50% commission. And what's the destination URL if you want to specify that. There's also the option to opt in or opt out for the Gumroad affiliate program. So it allows other creators to share your products in exchange for a 10% commission. But let's not get too technical. We are simply going to use this link if we do want to share an affiliate program with others. But let's go ahead and save changes. I'm going to head to this link here. And now if we do want to reach out to any potential affiliates, partners, and other creators perhaps that may be interested in promoting our product, and we give them that link, they'll land on this page where they add any details there, submit the affiliate request, and we can manage the approvals by going to affiliates. Otherwise, you can manually add them by clicking on Add Affiliate. We've got the community option too, which I kind of touched on during the setup process of our product. But if we go there, we can see the community works kind of like Slack, where you've got your channel. In this case, we've got our product as the channel. People can start chatting away, but this is the view we get if we are actually the creator of the product. There's nothing much else to talk about here, but if you do want to enable that community option, this is what it's going to look like. Let's go back because we've got collaborators, and this is a great way if you do want to partner with someone on your product. Let's say they contributed to your guide, to your online course, and they are a co-founder, a co-creator of it. This is where it's going to be useful, where you add the collaborator and then you can specify the cut that they get. So in the help page, you can see what can be done and then what it will look like. So if I zoom in on this, your product page will now show, let's say, you with that co-creator. And then Gumroad will automatically distribute the right amount of sales and the fees accordingly. So great little addition there that's quite new. One other thing I wanted to touch on is on the products, you also have the ability to create a membership, okay? If you do have some sort of recurring option where you've got ongoing content, an ongoing community perhaps that you want to set up, then you can choose that option. And then once you choose that option, during the product setup process, the fields may look the same as a normal digital product, but some other fields and additional fields that you may see include things like these right here, where it's new members will be emailed this product's last published post. New members will get access to all posts you have published. So you can enable or disable that depending on when they actually joined. So let's say you've got ongoing content or tips and past newsletters that you may have posted, but you don't want them to have access to past content, you can enable or disable this right here. And also the default payment frequency, how often you want to charge your customers. And on the tiers section, you can create different tiers. So if you do have more than one membership tier, let's say gold versus pro or whatever you want to call it, you can add different tiers right there, name it accordingly. This could be pro versus gold members, and then you'll see what it looks like now. So $10 a month, and of course specifying the pricing accordingly. But apart from all of those extra fields and options, that's pretty much what makes the membership different to regular digital products. Content fulfillment kind of remains the same. You can see it looks quite the same, and we can edit specific membership tiers. But if you do want to, let's say, start a membership based on just community, then you want to enable either using the Circle community or Gumroad community, depending on which one you prefer. So that way they get access to it, but only if they are subscribed to one of the tiers. Once you have everything up and running, everything's going, you build some traction. If you go to your dashboard, you will see a glance of your best-selling products. You've got a glance at your activity, balance, last 7 days, 28 days, total earnings. But apart from that, you're pretty much ready to make your first dollar using Gumroad. But there we go. That's a comprehensive step-by-step guide to using Gumroad. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments field. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.